The classic TV series Alice, 1976, has become a legendary icon in American television, not only for its heartfelt, everyday stories but also for the profound life lessons it imparted. However, behind the dazzling lights of Hollywood, the fates of its talented cast took a far more tragic turn, leaving fans with an overwhelming sense of nostalgia and sorrow. When the stage lights dimmed and the cameras stopped rolling, many of these beloved actors faced a harsh reality, one devoid of applause and adoration. Some fell into the abyss of illness and loneliness, while others met mysterious and haunting ends. Some slipped away in quiet obscurity, while others became victims of shocking and unforeseen tragedies. What really happened to them after they stepped away from the world of Alice, where they had devoted their passion and talent? Were their tragic deaths mere coincidences, or do they conceal deeper, unsettling mysteries? Join us as we uncover the hidden stories behind the curtain, where reality proves to be even more heartbreaking than the most sorrowful scenes on screen. Charles Levin, born on March 12, 1949, in Chicago, Illinois, carved out a successful career as a character actor, often bringing his signature nervous energy and comedic timing to every role. In Alice, he played Elliot Novak, the endearingly awkward love interest and eventual husband of Vera Gorman, appearing in 25 episodes from 1983 to 1985. His portrayal of the slightly neurotic yet lovable character endeared him to audiences, but Alice was just one of many notable credits in his career. Levin also appeared in hit TV shows such as Seinfeld, where he played the mohel in the infamous circumcision episode, Hill Street Blues, and NYPD Blue. On the big screen, he had roles in Annie Hall, 1977, and This Is Spinal Tap, 1984, always proving himself as a reliable comedic presence. However, despite a steady career, true superstardom eluded him, and as the years went by, roles became less frequent. Levin's personal life was marked by tragedy. He was married, though his wife passed away years before his own untimely death, leaving him alone in his later years. His career slowdown, combined with personal losses, seemed to cast a shadow over his life, and by 2019, he had largely retreated from Hollywood. Then came the shocking and deeply unsettling circumstances of his death. In July 2019, Levin was reported missing in Oregon. Days later, his body was found in a remote, mountainous area, where his car had apparently become stuck on a treacherous road. His remains were discovered partially consumed by animals, a gruesome and tragic end that sent waves of shock through the entertainment world. Authorities ruled his death an accident, though the eerie nature of the incident left many unanswered questions. The man who had once brought laughter to so many met a fate more horrifying than any Hollywood script, leaving behind a legacy forever overshadowed by the chilling circumstances of his final days. Marvin Kaplan, born on January 24, 1927, in Brooklyn, New York, was a character actor whose distinctive voice and deadpan delivery made him a staple of American television and film for decades. In Alice, he portrayed Henry Biesmeyer, the mild-mannered, soft-spoken telephone repairman who frequented Mel's Diner, appearing in 82 episodes from 1978 to 1985. His dry wit and awkward charm made Henry a fan favorite, offering a contrast to the louder, more boisterous personalities at the diner. Beyond Alice, Kaplan had an extensive career in Hollywood, voicing Choo Choo in Top Cat, 1961 to 1962, and appearing in classic films like It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, 1963. He was a familiar face on television, guest starring on The Twilight Zone, Bewitched, and Charlie's Angels, always bringing a unique comedic presence to every role. Despite his long and prolific career, Kaplan lived a relatively quiet personal life, never marrying and rarely speaking about romantic relationships. Colleagues described him as kind but deeply private, a man who found more comfort in his work than in personal entanglements. He remained active in the entertainment industry well into his later years, often performing in theater and lending his distinctive voice to animated projects. However, time eventually caught up with him, and on August 25, 2016, he passed away at the age of 89 due to natural causes. His death may not have been tragic in the conventional sense, but the solitude of his final years, coupled with his lifelong avoidance of deep personal relationships, painted a picture of a man who, despite bringing joy to so many, spent much of his life alone. Vic Tayback, born on January 6, 1929, in Brooklyn, New York, became an unforgettable presence on American television as the gruff yet secretly warm-hearted diner owner Mel Sharples in all 202 episodes of Alice. His portrayal of the hot-tempered but ultimately good-natured Mel, always barking orders and delivering sarcastic one-liners, made him a household name. Before Alice, Tabak had already established himself as a reliable character actor, appearing in films such as Papillon, 1973, where he played a brutal prison warden, and Bullet, 1968, a classic crime thriller starring Steve McQueen. He also had an extensive list of television credits, making guest appearances on shows like Star Trek, Columbo, and The Mary Tyler Moore Show. After Alice ended in 1985, he continued to work steadily in TV and film, but he never quite recaptured the same level of stardom. Despite his tough guy image, Tabak was known to be a devoted husband to his wife, Sheila Maureen Barnard, whom he married in 1962. The couple had one son, Christopher Tabak, who went on to become a successful attorney. However, the demands of Hollywood often kept him away from home, and friends noted that he carried an underlying loneliness despite his public success. Off-screen, Tabak was a heavy smoker, a habit that likely contributed to his declining health. On May 25, 1990, at the age of 60, he suffered a fatal heart attack at his home in Glendale, California. His sudden passing devastated fans and colleagues, many of whom remembered him not only as a talented actor but as a warm and generous friend. Some speculated that years of stress and the pressures of the entertainment industry had taken a toll on his heart, cutting short the life of a man who had spent decades bringing laughter to audiences across America. Dave Madden, born on December 17, 1931, in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada, became best known for his portrayal of the cantankerous yet lovable Earl Hicks in Alice, appearing in 35 episodes from 1978 to 1985. Earl, the semi-regular customer at Mel's Diner, was known for his dry humor and sarcastic quips, providing an amusing contrast to the other diner regulars. While Alice was a significant part of his career, Madden was perhaps even more famous for playing the perpetually exasperated band manager Reuben Kincaid on The Partridge Family, 1970 to 1974, a role that endeared him to an entire generation of television viewers. His career spanned multiple decades, including guest spots on shows like Bewitched, Barney Miller, and Laugh-In, where his comedic timing always shone through. Off-screen, Madden's life was far from the light-hearted sitcom world he inhabited on television. His early years were marked by hardship, including the loss of his father at a young age, which shaped much of his guarded personality. He was married twice, and while he had children, his personal relationships were often strained, with friends noting that he could be distant and difficult to connect with on an emotional level. In his later years, he largely retreated from Hollywood, choosing a quiet life in Florida. However, health issues plagued him, and he suffered from congestive heart failure, a condition that ultimately led to his death on January 16, 2014, at the age of 82. His passing marked the end of an era for fans of classic television, but for those who knew him personally, it was a reminder of a man whose humor often masked deeper struggles, a life filled with both laughter and solitude. Ted Gehring, born on April 6, 1929, in Louisville, Kentucky, was one of those character actors whose face was instantly recognizable, even if his name wasn't always on the tip of the audience's tongue. In Alice, he played Charlie, a minor but memorable role, appearing in 16 episodes between 1979 and 1982. His character, a blue-collar, working-class everyman, fit seamlessly into the world of Mel's Diner, adding to the show's atmosphere of camaraderie and small-town charm. Gehring built a long and steady career in Hollywood, frequently cast as gruff, no-nonsense authority figures in series like Gunsmoke, The Rockford Files, Bonanza, and The Dukes of Hazzard. On the big screen, he had small but notable roles in films such as Silver Streak, 1976, and Rescue from Gilligan's Island, 1978. Despite his steady stream of work, Gehring never quite reached leading man status, and his personal life remained largely private. He was married to actress Barbara Gehring, but little is known about their relationship beyond the fact that they remained together until his death. In his later years, his health declined, though he kept working as long as he could. Tragically, in 2000, he succumbed to complications from leukemia at the age of 71. His passing went largely unnoticed by the public, as character actors like him often fade from memory despite their immense contributions to television history. Though his name may not be widely remembered, his presence in countless beloved shows ensures his legacy lives on, even if only in fleeting glimpses on late-night reruns. Martha Raye, born on August 27, 1916, in Butte, Montana, was a force of nature, a woman whose larger-than-life personality matched her powerful singing voice. In Alice, she played Carrie Sharples, Mel's outspoken and overbearing mother, appearing in 12 episodes between 1979 and 1984. Her character was as tough and stubborn as Mel himself, creating moments of both comedy and tenderness that resonated with audiences. But Alice was just a small chapter in her incredible career. Raye had been a major star in the 1930s and 1940s, singing, acting, and performing in films like Waikiki Wedding, 1937, and Hellzapoppin', 1941. She was also known for her tireless work entertaining troops during World War II, Korea, and Vietnam, earning her the nickname Colonel Maggie, and even being awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom for her service. Despite her professional success, Raye's personal life was marked by chaos and heartbreak. She was married 7 times, each relationship seemingly more disastrous than the last. Financial struggles and legal battles plagued her later years, especially when one of her husbands, Mark Harris, was accused of exploiting her declining health for financial gain. Her final years were filled with pain, both physical and emotional. She suffered from numerous health problems, including severe jaw issues that left her unable to eat properly. In 1994, after years of suffering, she passed away at the age of 78 due to pneumonia, exacerbated by the long-term effects of various illnesses. Though her life was filled with turbulence, Martha Raye remained a legend, a woman who gave everything she had to her craft, her country, and the people she entertained. Even in death, her legacy as both a performer and patriot remains untouchable. Beth Howland, born on May 28, 1941, in Boston, Massachusetts, charmed audiences with her portrayal of the quirky, lovable, and often scatterbrained waitress Vera Louise Gorman in Alice. Her character, with her nervous giggles and wide-eyed innocence, became a fan favorite, providing comic relief while also delivering touching moments of vulnerability. Before her breakthrough role, Howland had already made a name for herself on Broadway, most notably in Stephen Sondheim's Company, 1970, where she originated the role of Amy and showcased her exceptional comedic timing in the rapid-fire song, Getting Married Today. She also made numerous television appearances in the late 1960s and early 1970s, guest starring on popular shows like The Mary Tyler Moore Show, The Love Boat, and Little House on the Prairie. Despite her undeniable talent, she struggled to find substantial roles after Alice ended in 1985, leading to a quieter, more reclusive life in later years. Her personal life was marked by both love and heartbreak. She was married to actor Michael J. Pollard, known for his role in Bonnie and Clyde, 1967, but their marriage ended in divorce. Later, she found stability with actor Charles Kimbrough, best known for his role as Jim Dial on Murphy Brown. The couple remained together for many years, though Howland largely withdrew from Hollywood and the public eye. In her final years, she fought a private battle with lung cancer, choosing not to publicly disclose her illness. On December 31, 2015, she passed away at the age of 74, but news of her death was not revealed to the public until 5 months later, per her own wishes. Her quiet passing left many fans in shock, as she had largely disappeared from the entertainment industry. Friends and colleagues mourned her loss, remembering her not only for her impeccable comedic talents but also for her kindness and gentle spirit. Her death marked the end of an era, but her legacy as Vera, the sweet and sometimes hilariously clueless waitress, remains alive in the hearts of Alice fans around the world. Philip McKeon, born on November 11, 1964, in Westbury, New York, became a familiar face to television audiences as Tommy Hyatt, the sweet and witty son of Alice Hyatt in Alice. Over the course of 197 episodes, he grew up on screen, portraying the loving and occasionally mischievous boy who was the emotional anchor for his struggling single mother. His natural charm and likability made him a favorite among fans, and it seemed like he had a promising future in Hollywood. However, unlike many child actors who seamlessly transition into adult stardom, McKeon found the path ahead uncertain. After Alice ended in 1985, he took on sporadic roles in television and low-budget films like Ghoulies 4, 1994, and Sandman, 1993, but his career never regained the momentum of his youth. Behind the scenes, McKeon faced personal struggles that remained largely hidden from the public. Though close to his sister, Nancy McKeon, who found fame in the facts of life, he led a relatively private life, avoiding the limelight whenever possible. His romantic relationships, if any, were kept out of public view, leading to endless speculation about his personal affairs. As the years passed, his health began to decline, though few knew the extent of his suffering. In 2019, after battling a long, undisclosed illness, he passed away at the age of 55 in Texas. His sudden death left fans reeling, and many mourned the boy they had watched grow up on screen, only to disappear into obscurity. The details surrounding his illness remained vague, adding an air of mystery to an already tragic life, one that seemed to have been marked by quiet struggles and unfulfilled promise. Michael Aldridge, born on April 13, 1941, in Kern County, California, was one of those actors who could slip seamlessly into any role, lending an air of authenticity to every performance. In Alice, he appeared in 9 episodes between 1978 and 1985, portraying various characters, including Ralph. While his time on the show was relatively brief, his ability to bring a no-nonsense yet sometimes comedic presence made him a memorable addition to the cast. His television work extended far beyond Alice, with guest roles in some of the most iconic series of the time, including Knight Rider, Airwolf, Dynasty, and The A-Team. Aldridge also had an impressive film career, appearing in movies like Scarface, 1983, where he played a bank officer, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, 1988, and RoboCop 3, 1993. Despite never becoming a household name, his deep voice and commanding presence made him a sought-after character actor. Off-screen, Aldridge kept much of his personal life out of the public eye. Details about his relationships and family are scarce, but like many working actors, he faced the highs and lows of Hollywood, steady work one year, uncertainty the next. He continued acting up until his untimely death on December 19, 1997, at the age of 56. The cause was a sudden heart attack, a tragic and unexpected end for a man who had spent his life bringing characters to life on screen. Though his name may not be instantly recognized, his contributions to film and television endure, his performances living on in the background of some of Hollywood's most well-known productions. Raleigh Bond, born on July 20, 1935, in Chicago, Illinois, had a face that many television fans would recognize, even if they couldn't always place his name. He played multiple roles in Alice, appearing in 7 episodes from 1979 to 1983, often portraying Raleigh, a character who fit right into the quirky world of Mel's Diner. Bond was a staple of late 20th century television, making appearances in classic shows like MASH *, Hill Street Blues, Newhart, and Night Court. While never achieving leading man status, he excelled in the kind of roles that added depth and color to any scene. His film credits included The Seniors, 1978, and Going Berserk, 1983, showcasing his versatility as both a comedic and dramatic performer. Behind the scenes, Bond's life was far less light-hearted than the roles he played. While details about his personal relationships remain limited, it was known that he endured financial struggles and periods of professional frustration, common among character actors who rarely found lasting fame. His later years were marked by declining health, and on August 3, 1997, just 2 weeks after his 62nd birthday, he passed away from cancer. His death was quiet, much like his career, unnoticed by the larger public but mourned by those who knew his work. While his name may not have been emblazoned on billboards, his presence in so many beloved television shows ensures that, even in death, Raleigh Bond remains a small but significant part of television history. Robert Hogan, born on September 28, 1933, in New York City, had a career that spanned over 5 decades, making him one of the most recognizable character actors in television history. In Alice, he played Greg Stempel in 6 episodes between 1977 and 1982, effortlessly slipping into the role with the same charisma and authority he brought to countless other projects. Hogan was a fixture in classic TV, appearing in everything from Batman, where he was almost cast as the Caped Crusader himself, to Hogan's Heroes, which humorously borrowed his name for its protagonist. He was a staple of crime and drama series, making memorable appearances in The Rockford Files, Magnum, P.I., Law and Order, and Murder, She Wrote, always delivering performances that, while brief, left an impression. On the big screen, he had smaller roles in films like Species 2, 1998, and Blue Christmas, 1978, but television was where he truly shined. Despite his professional success, Hogan's personal life had its share of struggles. He was married twice, first to Shannon Hogan, with whom he had children, though their marriage ended in divorce. His second marriage, to Mary Hogan, lasted until his death, offering him some stability in his later years. However, his final years were overshadowed by illness. In 2013, he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease, a cruel affliction that slowly took away the sharp mind that had made him such a sought-after actor. On May 27, 2021, at the age of 87, he passed away from complications related to the disease. Though his death was not sudden, it was no less tragic, a man who had spent his life playing unforgettable roles, only to have his own memories stolen from him in the end. Tony Longo, born on August 19, 1961, in New Jersey, was the quintessential big guy in Hollywood, a towering, heavy-set actor who exuded both warmth and intimidation depending on the role. In Alice, he appeared in 5 episodes between 1982 and 1984 as Artie, bringing his signature blend of humor and physical presence to the show. Though his time in Alice was brief, Longo carved out a niche in Hollywood as a reliable character actor, appearing in dozens of television shows like Laverne and Shirley, The X-Files, and CSI, Crime Scene Investigation. His film work included roles in The Last Boy Scout, 1991, Eraser, 1996, The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas, 2000, and Suburban Commando, 1991, often playing tough guys, bodyguards, or comedic heavies. His booming voice and larger-than-life presence made him a scene stealer in whatever project he appeared in. But behind the affable, funny persona, Longo battled significant personal struggles. His weight, which had contributed to his casting in so many roles, also led to serious health issues. His personal life was marked by ups and downs, including turbulent relationships and financial struggles that worsened as Hollywood moved away from the kind of character work he specialized in. On June 21, 2015, at the age of just 53, he passed away in his sleep from congestive heart failure. The suddenness of his death shocked those who knew him, a stark reminder of how often Hollywood's most familiar faces are struggling behind the scenes. Though he never achieved superstardom, Longo left behind a body of work that ensures he will never be forgotten, a gentle giant whose presence was always felt, even in the smallest of roles. Alan Hofrecht, born on August 11, 1941, was one of those actors whose career was built on a foundation of quiet, consistent work. In Alice, he played Brian in 5 episodes between 1978 and 1980, a small but memorable role that fit neatly into the show's ensemble of colorful characters. Hofrecht's career extended beyond Alice, with guest appearances in numerous television shows such as MASH*, The Waltons, and The Incredible Hulk, where he played a variety of professionals, doctors, lawyers, and bureaucrats, always delivering solid, dependable performances. In addition to acting, he also worked behind the scenes as a writer and acting coach, shaping young talent who would go on to thrive in the industry. Despite a fulfilling career, Hofrecht's personal life remained largely private, away from the tabloid scandals that plagued many of his contemporaries. While he had a loving family and relationships throughout his life, he never became a household name, something that weighed on him as he watched younger actors surpass him in fame. He lived his later years quietly, still involved in acting circles but away from the limelight. Though he managed to avoid the dramatic downfalls that befell some of his peers, his death in 2023 was a reminder of how Hollywood often forgets the faces that once graced its screens. His passing was peaceful, but it marked the end of a quiet legacy, a man who gave so much to the industry, yet never truly received the recognition he deserved. Leonard Stone, born on November 3, 1923, in Salem, Oregon, had the kind of career that spanned generations, touching everything from Broadway to television to film. In Alice, he played Lenny in 4 episodes from 1977 to 1984, but his acting resume was far more extensive than just his time in Mel's Diner. Perhaps best known for his role as the irritable Mr. Beauregard, father to the gum-chewing Violet, in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, 1971, Stone had a long and prolific career, appearing in hundreds of TV episodes in classics like Perry Mason, Dragnet, The Outer Limits, and Barney Miller. His ability to play everything from comedic roles to villains made him a highly sought-after character actor. Despite his on-screen success, Stone's personal life was not without its struggles. He married Carol Kleinman in 1964, and together they had children, but the demands of his career often took him away from home. The challenges of balancing work and family life were something he wrestled with for years, but in the end, he managed to find a sense of stability that eluded many in Hollywood. Unfortunately, as he aged, health problems began to take their toll. On November 2, 2011, just one day before his 88th birthday, he passed away from cancer. His death, though expected, was nonetheless a painful reminder of the passage of time. He had been a fixture of so many childhoods, a reliable presence in countless films and TV shows, and when he was gone, it was as if a piece of Hollywood's golden era had disappeared with him. Susan Tolsky, born on April 6, 1943, in Houston, Texas, was a talented character actress whose distinct voice and impeccable comedic timing made her a familiar presence on television. In Alice, she appeared in 4 episodes between 1980 and 1983, often playing quirky or eccentric female customers. Though her time in the series was brief, her larger career spanned decades, with standout roles in shows like Here Come the Brides and Madam's Place, as well as numerous voice-acting gigs in animated series such as Darkwing Duck and Pepper Ann. She was beloved in the industry for her ability to bring warmth and humor to even the smallest roles, but despite her success, she never truly became a household name. Tolsky's personal life was marked by a deep love for the arts, but she never married nor had children, instead devoting herself entirely to her career. While her professional life brought joy to many, her later years were marred by health struggles and the quiet isolation that sometimes comes with a life spent in Hollywood. She passed away on October 9, 2022, at the age of 79. Though her death was attributed to natural causes, it left a void in the hearts of those who remembered her as a vibrant, comedic force. The tragedy of her passing was not just in the loss of a talented actress, but in the way time had faded her from public memory, leaving behind only glimpses of her brilliance in reruns and archived recordings. June Whitley Taylor, born on April 19, 1917, lived through the golden age of Hollywood, yet her name never shone as brightly as it deserved. In Alice, she appeared in 4 episodes from 1981 to 1985 as Blanche, seamlessly blending into the world of Mel's Diner with a presence that was both familiar and comforting. Though her career in television was sporadic, she worked steadily in the industry for decades, often cast in maternal or supporting roles that grounded the stories she was part of. Unlike many of her contemporaries, she never sought the spotlight, content to work quietly behind the scenes while younger stars took center stage. Taylor's life outside of acting was filled with its share of heartbreak. She experienced the loss of loved ones over the years, and though she was married, her relationships were often strained by the pressures of the industry. As Hollywood evolved, roles for aging actresses became scarce, and she gradually faded from the screen, living out her later years in relative obscurity. She passed away on September 17, 1994, at the age of 77. Though her name may not be instantly recognized, her presence in the many films and TV shows she graced remains a testament to her quiet but lasting impact on the entertainment industry. Hamilton Camp, born on October 30, 1934, in London, England, was a man of many talents, a singer, songwriter, comedian, and actor whose presence in film and television left an indelible mark. In Alice, he played Clem in 4 episodes from 1977 to 1984, bringing his signature charm and wit to the role. His career, however, stretched far beyond the walls of Mel's Diner. As a folk musician, he made waves in the 1960s alongside Bob Gibson, and his voice became a fixture in animated shows, lending itself to characters in The Smurfs, DuckTales, and Darkwing Duck. On the live-action front, he was a familiar face in sitcoms and dramas alike, with roles in WKRP in Cincinnati, Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, and Star Trek: Deep Space Nine. Despite his vibrant career, Camp's personal life was not without sorrow. He married Rashada Lisa Kruger, with whom he had children, but balancing family and a career in entertainment was never easy. Though he was beloved by his peers, he often found himself struggling with the instability that came with the industry. Work could be plentiful one moment and scarce the next. On October 2, 2005, just weeks before his 71st birthday, Kemp suffered a fatal heart attack. His sudden passing was a devastating blow to those who knew him, a reminder of how even the most joyful entertainers often leave the stage too soon. Though he never became a leading man, his contributions to music, television, and film ensured that his voice, and his spirit, would never be forgotten. Noble Willingham, born on August 31, 1931, in Mineola, Texas, had the kind of commanding presence that made him a natural fit for the roles of tough, no-nonsense men. In Alice, he appeared as Floyd in 4 episodes from 1976 to 1978, but his career was filled with far more substantial roles. He was perhaps best known for his portrayal of C.D. Parker, the grizzled bar owner and friend to Chuck Norris character in Walker, Texas Ranger. His deep, gravelly voice and rugged demeanor made him a staple of westerns and action films, with credits in The Last Picture Show, Paper Moon, Good Morning, Vietnam, and City Slickers. Before stepping into Hollywood, he had been a history teacher, a role that suited his natural authority and presence. Willingham's personal life was a mixture of triumph and turbulence. Married for many years to his wife, Patty, he had children and a stable home life, yet the entertainment industry was never kind to those who aged out of its favor. In his later years, he left acting behind to pursue politics, running unsuccessfully for Congress in 2000. While he remained a beloved figure among fans, his health began to decline, and on January 17, 2004, he passed away in Palm Springs, California, from natural causes at the age of 72. Though his passing was peaceful, the loss was deeply felt by those who had grown up watching him portray some of television's most enduring characters. His was the kind of career that spoke to resilience, proof that hard work and a distinct presence could leave a lasting legacy in Hollywood, even if the fame itself was fleeting. Linda Lavin, born on October 15, 1937, in Portland, Maine, became a household name through her iconic role as Alice Hyatt in Alice, appearing in all 202 episodes from 1976 to 1985. As an independent, intelligent single mother striving for a better life for herself and her son, Lavin captivated audiences with her warmth and resilience. Her performance earned her 2 Golden Globe Awards and solidified her place in television history. However, Alice was just one chapter in her long and diverse career. She was also a renowned Broadway actress, winning a Tony Award for Broadway Bound and starring in numerous stage productions, including The Lions and The Tale of the Allergist's Wife. Unlike many of her co-stars, Lavin's life was not defined by tragedy but by reinvention and perseverance. Although she went through multiple marriages and divorces, including one with actor Ron Liebman, she ultimately found stability with her 3rd husband, musician Steve Bygone. She never had children of her own, a choice she spoke about with both acceptance and reflection. Tragedy struck when she faced a serious illness in her later years. Though she exhibited the same strength as the characters she portrayed, Lavin ultimately lost her battle against severe complications from pneumonia. Her final months were filled with hardship as her health rapidly declined, forcing her to step away from the stage and the spotlight she cherished. Surrounded by close family and friends, she fought bravely, but the progression of her illness was relentless. Her passing was not just a tremendous loss to the world of television and theater but also left a deep void in the hearts of her fans and colleagues. Linda Lavin lived a life dedicated to her craft, and though she is gone, her name will forever echo in the hearts of those who admired and loved her. What do you think about the deaths of the actors from Alice, and who do you remember the most? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to watch the latest videos.